Where the kidneys come from? I don't know. That's one joke. Come on. What is this? It is a bladder. It is not a nephron.
Are you talking about the prostate?
Oh, wait, what? You saying that?
Yeah.
So is this a male or female bladder? This is a male bladder. And what Maggie pointed out, what you want to look for is the prostate. Not prostrate. Prostate. Find the prostate gland. Other structures you're going to find. We are going to be looking for these nice, kind of off-white structures or off-white tubes. These are known as the ductus deferens or the vas deferens. This is what carries the immature sperm from the testes up to the ductus deferens or vas deferens. They carry the immature, the key there is immature sperm, up to the prostate where it becomes mature and active. Okay? And we're going to take a little moment here. You follow the ductus or vas deferens up. Does everybody see where it becomes a little bit thicker on both sides? That's because it's becoming thicker due to this gland, which we'll talk about in a minute. This is still the ductus vas deferens, but you call it the ampulla, where you get a thickened, enlarged area. It's just the ampulla of the vas deferens or ductus deferens. You'll see that medical terminology for a lot of structures in anatomy. Ampulla means large or thickened area. So let's talk about this gland right here where it becomes the ampulla. This gland right here on both sides is known as the seminal vesicles. Seminal vesicles. This is one of the first of the three glands we're going to learn about with the male reproductive system that is responsible for semen, seminal fluid. This seminal vesicle accounts for roughly 70% of it. So this is where the majority of it's coming from. And what's important about the seminal vesicles and the 70% of semen is it contains the nutrients needed to give the sperm its fuel to stay mobile. Because if a sperm loses locomotion, it will die. It's not active yet, which means it receives its nutrients prior to being active. And that is high fructose sugar, not corn syrup. I actually had a student put that on a test when there was short answers on my practical, and they put high fructose corn syrup, and I just like, yeah. Fructose is what it's receiving, okay? And these structures right here, anybody know what they are?
Uretaries.
Ureters.
Whatever.
I know. Ureters. And this is representing down here?
The urinary.
Urethra.
Yeah, that thing.
So, I had to take the liberty to clean this last semester because somebody took my joke literally. Because if you look at this, I got a nose, I got eyes, I got eyebrows, and I got ears. Mr. Bladder. So somebody went down here and drew teeth. Wasn't happy. They drew buck teeth. It was funny. I laughed. As you can still see the outline of some of the buck teeth down here. Okay. Mr. Bladderhead, that's the male bladder. You got that on tape, you have?
I do.
Put that on YouTube. You have 1 million hits in a week. Oh, you don't think I can do it? Why do you doubt me?
I just don't think you can.
What's this?
It is the female one.
Female reproductive and bladder. You
Yeah,
see a
it's a
prostate?
symbol.
No. The dead giveaway should be the ovaries. The ovaries. This structure right here is the uterus. Don't tell me that this is the ureter. I've had that told to me. This is not the ureter, because if this is conveying urine to your bladder, we're in trouble. This is the uterus and the ovaries. We're going to take one apart, and we're going to look at this. You guys can see. You will see that this yellow structure is the ovary. It looks like this red that turns into like these finger-like projections is kind of like cupping the ovary. That's because they are. I want you to look at the little fingertips. Those are known as fimbriae. They're there to help goad and receive the circulated ovulated egg. They want to circulate it upwards into their grasp. Okay? Fimbriae, which now you're going to see it kind of, the finger-like projections turn away. and it turns into more of like a funnel. That's referred to as the infundibulum. Infundibulum is where it turns into a funnel and you lose the finger-like projections. Which, of course, you want it to turn it into a funnel because you want to circulate that ovulated egg into this tube right here. What is it?
Fallopian.
Or uterine tube. Fallopian or uterine tube, same structure. So therefore, not to be confused, don't tell me that this is the fallopian tube, because that's not connected to the infundibulum and the fimbriae. This is your uterine ligament. It's helped to keep the fallopian uterine tubes in place.
Wait. So that's not the fallopian tube?
There's two tubes here.
So there's two. So
One's a ligament, not a tube. The other one's a tube.
So the one on top is the ligament, the one on the
No,
bottom.
don't do the one on top. Do the one that runs into the infundibulum and the fimbriae. That's how you always get it right. There you go.
So it runs into it, so that's the ligament.
No. That's running into it. You want that to be a tube.
So that's the ligament.
Yes.
Okay.
Good? So, what's this structure right here? Yep. What's that?
The
Ureter.
Dumb thing.
Urethra!
Oh, that's what I thought you were going to do. It's back.
Yeah.
I used to like her. I thought about it. What is this again, Candace?
Ureter.
Thank you. And this represents, right here, is your urethra. You got to look at it from the lateral. So meaning, students will tell me all the time that this is my prostate.
What?
Okay. And this structure up here is my bladder.
They do realize if the prostate is enlarged, it's bad, right?
Stage fright during a test. We do crazy things. This is my bladder. That's my urethra, which means this is just a lateral view of the uterus. So, you go back to the stomach. The superior portion of the uterus, just like the stomach, is known as the fundus of the uterus. Okay? The body of the stomach, just like the uterus, is the body of the uterus. And if I have a cavity in the uterus, what's that going to be named? You're already thinking. Stop. I already gave you all the information. What
Like
is it?
AP1?
Uterine cavity.
Oh.
Okay. Moving down. I'm just going to show you where it is today. We'll talk about this a little bit on Thursday, majority of it, all of it on Tuesday. Where the uterine cavity...
Yeah, buddy.
See, I'm going to pause, make sure you get this on tape. It may be your last class, but it truly will not be your last class. And I hope I will be echoing in that head of yours for time to come.
Oh, you will be.
So it's really not your last class. Okay. The uterine cavity terminates right here, which is known as the cervix. And this is going to become huge in the next week because you have a zone of transformation right in the cervix, basically where two different types of cells overlap one another. This is where your female patient goes and has a pap smear done. Okay? What they're looking for is this zone of transformation, two different types of cells, where they'll start to differentiate themselves and become precancerous, meaning hence pre, catch them as they start to differentiate before they become a problem. This is where the majority of reproductive cancers hits women. I wish I could say it hasn't, but I've seen it happen to friends of mine where they've had a very healthy, natural pregnancy, and after the little one's born, don't ask me how or why, I can't answer that right now. After the little one's born, they find out, well, you have a healthy baby boy, but we just located and found stage 3, stage 4 cervical cancer. And it happened to a friend. She died when she was 26 years old. She died 2 weeks after she gave birth to her son. Up until that point, she had no signs or symptoms. None. Was it there prior to the pregnancy? Yes, and it is very scary. But it basically been so kind of hidden, and I'm assuming that she was not having her annual checkups because that zone of transformation is where it's detected. So somewhere along the path, that had been missed and not caught, whether it was her doctor or her just not going enough. Okay? So during the pregnancy, weird things happen.